Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Estate Investing with Alex Deacon. My name is Adam. I am here with the great Deacon of Real Estate, Alex Deacon. Alex, how are you doing today, good sir?
Oh, doing great, buddy. How are you doing?
Doing fine, I think. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, let's get the cheap plugs out of the way. We know you guys love them, so we're going to do it first. I hope you sense the sarcasm there. Listen, check out our website, dhrea.com. Check us out on social media, Deacon Hoover on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Search for Ian Hoover. Actually, that's where most of our stuff goes on LinkedIn. Let's see, go to our YouTube channel. We have two different meetup groups, Alex Deacon's Property Landlord Group and Alex Deacon's Real Estate Investing Networking Group. Check out both of those on meetup.com. Make sure you're going to dhrea.com, Pittsburgh Property Management for MACE Property Management, and alexdeacon.com. If you need to get a hold of Alex, send us a topic, want to reach out to him, network with him, it's alex@alexdeacon.com. So, there's plugs. Got them out of the way. Look at that. Quick, easy, bam. Less than a minute. So, today we're going to be talking about how to basically upgrading your rental to increase ROI. So, everybody has, hopefully you got some rentals if you're listening to this, and we want to let you know how you can increase your ROI from tenant to tenant. So,
yeah, and the reason, again, this topic came up is this week it was kind of top of mind because I've had a couple new clients come on and potential clients for MACE, our management company, asked me about, what should I be doing as far as increasing the rent? What's a good time to increase the rent? Where should I spend my money? Where shouldn't I? So, yeah, it was just a good time to talk about it. And I think we probably covered this already in one form or another, but this is I think it's really super important because I've said this a million times that it just from my view, it's this business of being a landlord and owning real estate is not a get rich overnight type of thing. You typically, it's rare that you're making loads of money on a couple properties and cash flowing and it's changing your life. It's not changing your life right now. It's going to change your life in the future tremendously financially, right? But it takes time, it takes patience, and where you spend your dollars is critical because the return on investment right now is very little. It's delayed gratification, right? It just takes a long time to see that. Like a lot of times I will literally look at my balance sheet, my spreadsheet of all my properties, so I can look at how my wealth is growing because I know I don't see it. Mm-hmm. I don't get a massive check every month that really changes my life.
Right.
It's a lot of work up front, but my wealth is growing exponentially every month, and that's what I need to look at sometimes to ease my pain because it's a lot of work and you're not really seeing your fruits of your labor. Mm-hmm. Some people aren't cut out for this. You have to be patient and know that it's going to be worth it in the long run. So where you spend your dollars, I'm going to hopefully help some folks here. Where you spend your dollars is important because every little bit helps. Mm-hmm. So we can just pick a couple different topics or aspects like kitchens and granite countertops and flooring and paint and so on and so forth. So, for example, I met with a potential client the other day. They own some property. They've owned it for a long time, right? 40 years or so. These properties are dated to like 70s. I'm talking light fixtures, orange wallpaper. Almost. You can just walk into, but I tell you what, they're nicely laid out, mm-hmm. and there are some things that they can do. So there are different levels that I explained to them. Okay, so we're going to rent these units for $750 a month. What I would suggest is why don't we paint the kitchen? Why don't we put a new floor in? Maybe paint the cabinets, put some new hardware on, get matching appliances instead of literally like a lime green hood vent, a white stove, a black dishwasher. I'm not kidding. I'm like, look, let's spend $1,500 on appliances. Let's spend $500 on the floor. Let's paint the walls from orange to something nicer. Let's paint the cabinets. So we might spend $3,000 in that kitchen. Okay? In the living room and dining room, why don't we paint it a nice color instead of just everything white? Let's spend an extra $500 and paint it I mean, not even 500. If you're going to paint, it's going to cost you maybe 300 to do those rooms versus 500. So you're spending an extra 200. And in the bathroom, you have like a green tub and shower surround, which was okay. It was kind of like not a crazy green. It was more like an earthy green. Mm-hmm. So leave that alone, but replace the vanity, replace the floor, put new light fixtures in. So let's just say we'll spend $5,000 in that unit. And let's get that rent up from $750 to $850. And not only that, but you're going to attract a better quality tenant in this specific area, right? This may not work in the ghetto. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's just being honest. If it's a Section 8 type of area, right, you may not want to spend that $5,000. Maybe you only want to make it clean and presentable and paint it all white and just make it
just standard
presentable.
Color, yeah.
It really depends. So that's one level that we can get that rent up from $750 to $850 plus. So if you look at that, that's an extra $100 a month in rent. Spending $5,000, you're getting your money back in just around 4 years. That's a heck of an investment, and you're increasing the value of your property because one, you've increased the aesthetics of it, and two, you increase the income, which ultimately increases the value. Now the second level would have been, you know what, this kitchen's 40 years old. We really should just do a new kitchen, in my opinion, because we're going to spend $3,000 in there, right? So why don't we just spend $6,000? Let's just spend $6,000 and do it new. Maybe $7,000. In the bathroom, instead of, I would keep the bathroom the same. So in the bathroom, we spend $1,500 just sprucing it up, and the paint inside. So we go from maybe a $5,000 investment to $10,000. Okay, so the next level is let's do $10,000, and let's rent it for $9,000 or $950. So we go from $750 to $8,000 to $850 to $9,000 to $950, right? Maybe even $1,000. You don't know. There's different levels, and even a level below the $5,000 level would have just been okay. Well, let's just at least get all matching white appliances. Let's paint the kitchen and maybe put a new vanity in the bathroom. So let's just spend $2,500 and just increase the aesthetics of it. Maybe get the rent up to $750, get it up to $8,000 or $825. Okay. And the other option, just leave it the way it was. It's very clean, very neat, nice layout, and you can rent it for $750. Might take a little bit longer. You're not going to get the real picky, meticulous, clean people who love it because they're going to be like, well, I'm specific. I don't want orange, black, and white appliances. This is not me. I'm willing to pay $900 for nice.
Right.
But there's a lot of people out there who are clean and meticulous also, but are on a budget, and they'll pay $750, and they're happy with the tri-color appliances because who cares? I can't afford $900, nor do I want to pay $900. I'll live with the orange wallpaper and the green, white, and black appliances. Okay?
Right.
So the other thing to think about is all of this depends on your budget. Okay? Some folks don't have $10,000 to spend. And if you have a 4-unit building and every time one comes vacant, you got to spend $10,000, that's $40,000.
It's not economically viable.
Yeah, it's not a possibility. So this is not set in stone where yes, you have to go option 1, 2, or 3, or leave it alone. So 4 options here, right? Leave it alone. Option 1, $2,500. Option 2 was $5,000. Option 3 was go all out.
So really, in a way, think about all the different options that you have. Like, kind of take a step back and look, like I said, and every property I would assume would be a little bit different. Every location would be a little bit different, and then and really read the clientele that is around that area and kind of know what person is going to be renting that. And if maybe, and let me ask you this question: maybe you've had a couple showings, nobody's taken the bait on renting that particular property. Would you then maybe after, say maybe it lies dormant for a couple months, then would you say, oh, you know what, maybe I need to clean something up from there? Is it
what I would suggest to the sellers, look, what's your budget? I have no money. Okay, then we need to drop the price because if you have no money to put into it and you're losing $750 a month, would you not rather have $650 a month than wait for it to get rented? I mean, just use your brain. Some sellers, or I'll say it's landlords, they get stuck on that number. And don't get stuck on that number. Don't fall in love with numbers. Don't fall in love with a property. Fall in love with your rate of return and what the market will give you at any point in time. The market is God, okay? You are not God. The market in this case is God. And when God tells you something, he's speaking to you, and that's the market saying, yeah, we're not willing to pay that. Right. We're willing to pay $650 right now. Maybe next year $750. Mm-hmm. If you don't listen to that voice, then no one can help you. And it's sometimes hard. People get stuck. They get stuck in that with that number, and that's
think. Right.
What can you do? I do my best to reach some folks with logic and with my experience level, and whether they take that and run with it, it's only so much I can do. Anyone can do.
What would be the longest, just out of curiosity, that, obviously there's always some circumstances outside our control, but what would be the longest you would go with leaving a property vacant before you said, I need to change something?
I'm very particular, so I'm dropping prices. If I know my property manager has it advertised in the proper venues, which is it's online most of the time, but we run very low vacancy rates. So whatever we're doing works, okay? Mm-hmm. So if I know that it's not renting in 2 weeks, I'm dropping the price. I'm not screwing around. I want everything occupied.
Right. That's good. So don't waste time.
Yeah, vacancies are just accidents waiting to happen. Leaks can occur in those vacancies. Squatters in bad areas. You can have squatters. You can have break-ins. But just having a place vacant, you don't know what's going on. Right? There could be a leak. There could be a lightning hits the chimney and now there's a leak. You just don't know. It's sitting there vacant for a week and could be damaged. Maybe no one's showing it for a month because you have it priced so high that it's...
Plus, during the winter months, and I'm sorry not to cut you off, but during the winter months, you definitely don't want a vacancy because then that's extra time for you to go over to that property, maybe however many times a week or every week or however, just to ensure that there isn't a busted pipe, frozen pipes, different things like that. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, if you have a property vacant in the winter and the tenant, it's a single family, let's say the tenant's supposed to be shoveling the sidewalk and they don't. And let's say, our sidewalk guy doesn't get there till the next day and somebody slips and falls, then now the liability's on the owner. Mm-hmm. Okay? When if there's a tenant there, the liability's on the tenant because it's in their lease that they're responsible to maintain that sidewalk. There's just multiple issues with vacant properties. And, it is what it is. But let's back on topic is all of this ROI, return on investment, and what to do to your property, what not to do, all of it depends on your budget, first of all. That's first and foremost. Because those 4 options, depending on your budget, option 10,000 and option 5,000 could be off the table completely. Mm-hmm. So maybe you're just focusing on option 1, leave it, and lowering the rent, or option 2, spend $2,500, and then so the next part of this equation is then where do you get the best return on your investment? It's when you're putting money into a property. So number 1, and this goes with even selling property. Absolute number one is curb appeal, especially when selling. Curb appeal. I mean, even as a rental, but more selling. But curb appeal. So that's like landscaping and lighting outside and cleanliness. And then inside, just super clean. People walk in and it's super clean, smells clean, looks clean. That's number 1. That's the cheapest, least expensive. Average landlord can do that themselves, right? In a weekend. Number 2, and again, this goes for selling and renting, is paint. I mean, paint is the least expensive to do, and you get the best rate of return on that. I walked into a unit with an owner not that long ago, and the walls, like you could see, if you've ever lived in a house and then moved out and you take pictures off the wall, and you see just the dirt around the picture frame. Yeah. And she was like, do you really think I should paint these, or should I wipe these walls down? I'm like, come on. You're going to wipe the walls down, and they're probably not going to come clean as they should be. And you're going to spend, I don't know, $200 wiping this whole apartment down versus $1,000 in painting it. Don't be penny wise and pound foolish. Right. Okay, so painting is number 2. best return on investment. And depending on the unit and where it is, I mean, it's nice to go with a really nice paint where you paint the ceiling maybe a flat white, you paint the walls like a nice earthy tone, or gray's kind of in right now, and the trim a semi-gloss white. That's always going to look better. But if your budget doesn't permit it, then just go all white. Just all satin white, everything, and it's a lot less expensive because there's less cutting in from the painter to do. The third thing to think about, which gives you the best return, is probably the flooring, right? So kitchen flooring, bathroom flooring, carpet, or if you're going to put laminate or ceramic tile or whatever, the cheapest way to go is carpet, of course, but carpet has, I think, less of a shelf life than maybe a nice laminate or refinishing hardwood. So you're going to get probably a little more rent by spending a little more money on flooring, like a laminate floor or hardwood, than you are carpet. But that's going to take a longer time to get your return. And if it's not within your budget, then the only option you have is maybe right now is clean the carpets really good. And if they don't come clean, then replacing the carpets. I'd say the next one would probably be like we talked about appliances. You know, I just think when you walk into a kitchen and you have a black dishwasher, a green microwave, and a blue refrigerator, it's just, man, just go ahead and bite the bullet and get like a fridge. We get a nice brand new fridge for $500-$600. You know, in an average apartment, if you're a big house, you're probably going to get a 25 cubic foot fridge or something. But and then a stove is $350, and let's say a microwave another $150, or a dishwasher $200. So I mean, I don't know, close to $1,000, right? But it just makes it look so much nicer. Again, it just depends on your budget. Mm-hmm. And then you get into the things that really cost a lot more money, which is, of course, replacing kitchens, putting granite countertops in. One thing I forgot on there, which is probably between 3 and 4, is lighting. Ooh. I was in an apartment with the same person, and like half of the lights didn't work. The chandelier had 5 light bulbs and only 2 were working. Just go ahead and get LED light bulbs, put all new LED light bulbs wherever there isn't one, or wherever there's a regular light bulb. And if you have to upgrade some of the lighting, do that. Like that, it's so inexpensive, and it does actually make a difference. People do notice that. Yeah, and brightness is nice because light and bright and clean always sells. And again, then you get into the expensive things like, should I add central air? Should I not add central air? Of course, central air is always way better than not central air. But again, that's expensive. That can be anywhere from $2,500 to $4,000 to add central air to. Wow. But again, it's all going to depend on those different variables, where it's located, your budget, and so on and so forth. I'll talk to maybe an owner who owns this. I'm talking to an owner right now who has a 6-unit building, and I said, why don't we just attack one unit at a time? Like 5 of the units are rented, 1's vacant. Let's attack that unit. Where do you want it? Let's spend the $7 grand there. Let's spend $10 grand. Let's put central air in, and then as the next one comes vacant, we'll go in there and assess that one. Maybe that one has a newer kitchen, but you never upgraded the appliances and never added AC. Maybe we just do that for that one. So one at a time, whatever your budget will permit, and it doesn't all have to be done at once. And if you have tenants paying in the other units and they're happy, there's no point in kicking tenants out so you can upgrade a unit to make an extra $200 a month. But meanwhile, it's vacant for 4 months, and your rate of return investment is going to take a lot longer to get.
If you're already flowing, why interrupt that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So other than central air, what else would you list under like the expensive things that maybe for upgrades?
Oh, bathrooms. Of course, yeah, bathrooms and kitchens, absolutely number 1, number 2. Things that add value, like if, let's say a furnace is not working, and adding a new furnace adds no value.
Correct.
It has very little value. Most people don't really look at the furnace and say, "Oh, I'm willing to spend $100 a month because that's a new furnace." More, right? I'm not gonna. They may look at the furnace, and that could be a selling point. You say, "Well, this furnace is new. It's a high efficiency furnace," and these windows are newer, so your bills are going to be less. That does help, but the rate of return on new windows and new furnaces far less than what people can see.
Right.
It's all about the aesthetics, and the conveniences. Do you have laundry on site? That's another one too. Like if you have a building, do you have laundry on site or don't you? I mean, think about it. If you're living in a house and you have to go out to do laundry, that's no fun.
I do it. Yeah, it's terrible.
So, what would you rather? You just got to look at it through the eyes of a tenant.
Mm-hmm.
I think we cover a lot of topics. I mean, there's probably a lot of small, minute, little details, but there's only so much that you can do to add value to an apartment complex. I mean, if you have a large complex, you can add. We're talking like hundreds of units. You add a pool, you add gyms. We can go crazy like that. I'm just talking about the average mom and pop who owns 2 units or owns 50 units or 100 units that are scattered site all over the area, and their duplexes, single families, 5 units, such. There's only so many amenities you can add to make it more appealing. I'm sure there's a lot of other small, minute details that you could add. Maybe on the higher end stuff, maybe you could offer cleaning services, and maybe you could offer other different things for higher end clients. But for the most part, that probably covers 90% of what's going to give you the best rate of return.
I was going to say, I can't really think of anything, especially in an apartment. With a home, I could see maybe windows because of airflow and trying to get, but in an apartment, it's usually they're pretty stat quo.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, man, I think we covered that one. I think we beat that horse.
But once again, a fantastic, perfect episode.
That was awesome.
It was awesome.
I think I'm just going to listen to it over and over again.
Just on repeat.
Yeah.
Like I am with the new tool.
So I can hear my voice.
All right, guys, listen. Ladies and gentlemen out there, if you are still with us, we thank you so much for tuning into this little 20-minute short we got going on here. How to upgrade your rental to increase your ROI. Guys, don't forget, sometimes it's the simple things, the less expensive things that could really increase your ROI. But don't forget about the expensive back-end things if your budget permits. And again, if you need to get a hold of Alex, you need to network with him, you have questions for him, you have topics for him for us to talk about, you can email him alex@alexdeacon.com. Once again, find us at dhrea.com. You can find this podcast wherever you're listening to it right now and about 6 or 7 other different podcasting platforms. Just search Real Estate Investing with Alex Deacon or Alex Deacon's Property Management Series. So for Alex, for myself, and for everyone here at Deacon Hoover Real Estate Advisors, we thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.